Greetings, our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters. This is L.D. Smith, the Watchman on the wall. Israel, it is our Sabbath. Grab that King James. And we have a fine teaching tonight, as always. But first and foremost, before we get started, we want to wish all of our sisters and brothers all over a happy Sabbath. And that being said, let us go forward into our teaching. Our teaching tonight is going to be dealing with we do not know God's ways. God's ways is past finding out. And we got several scriptures that we're going to deal with tonight to show you different sides of God intervening into man's affairs. All right. And to be clear about it, God is the ruler and God is running the show. No matter what you've been taught or what someone has said or either what someone may be saying now, God is always in control. All right. Now that being said, we want to put this in mind. I want you to think about the words. Think about what you are reading. Think about what you are hearing. All right. And then I think tonight teaching will explain a lot of questions that one may have. All right. Now let us begin in the book of Genesis. And as I always say, my sisters and brothers, you want the truth, you got to go back. Okay, now let's go back and we're going to just read a few scriptures out of Genesis here. And then we're going to move forward into our teaching, all right? Okay, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Notice, God did this, okay? He said, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, see that? Let there be light, and there was light. And God saw that the light was God saw that the light and that it was good. And God divided the light from the dark. Verse 5. And God called the light day. Okay, verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the heaven. Verse 7. And God made. Okay, now Israel, you get a general idea of what I am talking about here. Okay, God is in control of everything. God is the author of everything. God has the script already written. We're just on the stage just playing out our part. Okay, now that being said, let us go to the book of Daniel. And I want you to eat on this, my sisters and brothers, and I want you to eat on this. And I want you to eat it over and over and over, all right? And then you'll get an idea of what the Most High is saying here. Now, I'm going to read this verse right here in the book of Daniel. And as I said, this verse right here is going to explain a lot of things that's been puzzling us, you know, in our lives. And you will see about things that are transpiring right now all over the world and all around you. And this verse here is going to explain a whole lot. Okay, now watch this right here. Daniel the 4th chapter, verses 32. I did say that, right? Let's look at that right there. It says, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwellings shall be with the beasts of the field. Now he talking about this is Nebuchadnezzar now. He says of the field. They shall make thee eat grass as ox, and 7 times shall pass over thee until thou. Now listen at this closer. Listen at this closer. I want you to think about this over and over and over and over again. And I guarantee you, once it clicks on the inside of you, you'll see something different. Now watch here. He says, until thou knowest, until thou knowest that the Most High ruleth in the kingdoms of men. See that? So my sisters and brothers, you have to understand that every kingdom that is up on the face of this planet, God is ruling in it. I mean, it's right in the pages. This is not something that I'm making up. It's right here, my sisters, in the pages. He to Nebuchadnezzar that every, not only yours, but every kingdom that is ran by a man, I'm the one that's ruling this thing. Man ain't ruling shit. I'm doing this thing. And see, Israel, that is the eye opener to let us see that what's transpiring here in America concerning people of color. You have to see that the Most High is behind this thing. It's not the white man doing this and the white man doing that. God is using him. God is the one that is ruling this thing, not the white man. He doesn't have any power at all. God is the one that is in control. God is using them. The Most High is, he will use evil. He will use every arsenal in his toolbox just like he wanna, when he wanna, and how he wants to. And can't no damn body on this planet stop him. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove it to you. Now watch this right here. As I said, I want you to get that deep down inside you. I want you to rehash this all next week. I want you to go to bed thinking about this. And I guarantee you, once you get this thing right, you will see things the way the Most High sees it. And you won't be so fearful and whatnot because, listen, death is nothing to him. And it shouldn't be anything to you either. If you read the Bible, the Old Testament, it's like going to sleep. Another thing, you don't have any control over your life. You doesn't. You don't have any control. So, what you do is, whatever he wants to do, he's going to do it. Now, let's move a little further here. Let's go to the book of Job. See, because we have been taught that, oh, if I do this or if I do that, then God will do this and God will do that. Not true. Not true. You can't make God do nothing. Neither can I. We can't make God do nothing unless he wants to do it. He ain't going to do it. I mean, Christianity teach you that bullshit about, oh, you be good and you do. No! That's not the way it is. And I'm going to prove it to you now. If you read from chapter 1 and read on up to start from verse 1 and read on down, you will see that Job makes sacrifices unto the Most High for himself and his children. He did it to the latter. But watch what happened to him. Now let's look at Job chapter 1. Let's look at verse 5. He said, and the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he has is in thine power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. Verse 13, he says, and there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's home. Okay, now the family have gotten together and they having a little eating, you know, a little small party, and you know they socialize. All right, now watch right now. Let's look at verse 16. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of God is fallen from heaven. Now remember, now Satan left the presence of God, didn't say a word. Now God is getting busy. The fire of God, not the fire of Satan, fell from heaven and has burned up the sheep and the servants, consumed them, and only I escaped alone to tell thee. Now let's look at verse 18. It says, while he yet spake, there came another and said, thy sons and thy daughter were eating and drinking wine in the eldest brother's house. Okay, now let's look at 19. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the four corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I alone am escaped alone to tell thee. Now all Job's kids are dead. Now we see God in action right here. Now Job did everything right, so that tells you that God does exactly whatever he wants to do, and he's just in all of his ways. And see, like I said, God ways are past finding out. We are just learning some of the things about the Most High. Every week we teach, every week we study, every day we talk, coerce back and forth, talking about this scripture and that scripture, but we will never be on the level of finding out the Most High ways. No, never. So we as individuals that is way under him, we need to stay in our place. See, because you got a lot of people that comes on here and holler about they know this and they know that, and in reality we don't know nothing when it comes to the Most High. We don't know nothing but what he reveals to us. Okay, and that's it. Now let's go a little further here. Let's look at verses 20 and 21, I believe, here. Now look what Job said. He said, and Job arose and ripped his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped. And said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return hither. And then he says, the Lord giveth. See that? The Lord giveth. And what? The Lord hath taken away. See, the devil can't take nothing from you. The devil can't give you nothing. Lucifer can't give you nothing. Lucifer, he can't take anything from you. Satan can't give you nothing, and Satan can't take anything from you. All these are acts of God. These are things that God have in his arsenal that he can use at his disposal at any time. See, so we have to understand that God is God. When all these things transpire in our life, God is behind all these things. Now, let's go a little further here. Let's stay in the book of Job. Let's go to the 7th chapter 7. This is 7. Let's go to chapter 11. Let's look at verse 7. See, because you got these out here that think they know everything. I know this about the Most High, and I know no. You don't know a damn thing. All you know is the little bit that he has revealed to you. Other than that, if he had revealed anything to you, other than that, you don't know nothing. Now let's look at the word and see now. Chapter 11 in Job. Let's look what he said. He said, "Canst thou by searching find out God?" No. He said, "Canst thou find out the Almighty unto perfection?" No. Look at verse 8. It is as high as heaven. What canst thou do? Deeper than hell, what canst thou know? The measure thereof is long than the earth and broad than the sea. Now check this out right here. For all you that think you know something. He said, if he cut it off and shut it up, or gather together, then who can hinder him? Who can hinder him? How can Jesus stop him? Christians praying that Jesus is about this, praying that Jesus is about that. Can nobody stop God? Because Jesus called God the devil. Because God is doing all these things. Oh, that's Satan, that's the devil, that's Lucifer. That's the Most High. And the thing about it, why do you think all these Christians praying to Jesus every day to stop these things that are happening, and they're continually happening? This lets me know right here that this is the Most High doing this. Ain't no damn devil. Because according to Jesus' writing, he rose with all power in heaven and in earth. But yet and still, he can't stop a damn thing. Now, does that seem like he has any power? No, he ain't got no damn power. He ain't shit. Now, let's go a little further here. Let's look at verses, let's go to Job 37. Watch it right here. Job 37. Let's go there. Now, remember now, he says what? Nobody can stop him, right? Let's look at Job 37. Let's look at verse 5 through 7. But when y'all get a chance, y'all just read the whole 37, start at verse 1 and read on down. And it is loaded. It got a lot of stuff, but for time's sake, I'm just going to run through this, okay, and give you guys, a good picture of what's transpiring here. Now, look what verse 5 says, God thunders marvelous with his voice. Great things doeth he which we cannot comprehend. See that? For he said to the snow, be thou on the earth, likewise to the small rain, and to the great rain of his strength. Now check this out right here now. He sealeth up the hand of every man. Not one, not two, but every man. Now look what he says here, that all men may know his work. See that? Now we're going to revert back to this verse right here because it's very important that we show you here how the Most High works. Now let's go to the book of Daniel. Let's go to the book of Daniel here. Daniel, let's look at Daniel the 6th chapter. Very familiar passage. We talked about it on several occasions here, but anyway, we're going to start here at Daniel 6, the 6th chapter, verses 1. And it says, it pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 prince, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the prince might give account unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was perfect over the president. He was preferred over the presidents and the prince, because an excellent spirit was in him. Now y'all see what's transpiring here. I don't want to read it all, but y'all see he put Daniel over these prince and presidents, and they're gonna conspire against him and try to jam him up. Now, okay, now watch this right here. Now let's jump down to verse 11 here. Let's go to verse 11. Verse 11 says, then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making a supplication before his God. Now Daniel is doing right. Daniel is praying to his God. Now I'm going to show y'all something here. Bear with me now. Watch this right here. We're at, let's do 12, 13, and 14. Okay, he says, then there came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man should ask and petition of any god or man with 30 days, save of there, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, this thing is true. So anyway, they conspired against him, and in other words, they set him up. Okay, but I'm going to show you something here that we talked about earlier, about how the Most High will shut the hand of every man and let everybody know I'm at work. Huh? Now watch this right here. Now we're gonna go a little further. Watch it right here. Let's look at verse 13 and 14. For time's sake, I'm gonna jump over 13, but y'all read. And then I'm gonna read 14. It said, then the king, when he heard these words, was so displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. Did you hear what I said? The king realized he had been tricked, and now someone who he loved truly, that was Daniel. Now he got to put Daniel in the lion's den. But look what he says here. He says to deliver him, and he labored until the going down of the sun to deliver him. Talking about Daniel. He did everything that he could possibly think of to do in order that he may be able to deliver Daniel, but God has shut his hands up. Why? Because God is going to show everybody that he is God. By himself. God shut the king's hand up. Did you hear what I said? Now watch this right here. We're going to jump on down here. Let's jump down to verse 23. Now No, let's look at 21. 21, 22, and 23. We're in chapter 6. 21, 22, and 23. It says, Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God, see that, has sent his angel and has shut the lion's mouth, that they might not hurt me. For as much as before him innocent was found in me. And also, therefore, O king, have I done no hurt. See that? God shut the king's hand and then went in and shut the lion's mouth. Look at God. Huh? Now let's look at verse 30. I don't need to read 23 because 22 said enough about it, but in your spare time, you want to go ahead and read it? Go ahead and read it. Now, let's jump on down to Daniel, the 3rd chapter. Let's go there. Daniel, the 3rd chapter. Daniel, the 3rd chapter. Watch it right here. Let's look at 14 and 15. Daniel, the 3rd chapter, verses 14 and 15. It said, Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto him, Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not ye serve my God, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now notice what he said, that I have set up. Does that sound familiar? Huh? That sounds so familiar to me about Jesus. But I say, thou shalt love that enemy. I said this. I said that. These are familiar words here. Look what he says here. Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, and all these little instruments that they blowing here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get over here to the part where it says, down and worship the image which I have made. See that? Very familiar words of New Testament. But if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hand? See, let me tell you something. When people get power, they forget all about God. Just like the white man in this country here. They know what the book says. They know who the chosen people are. But they have forgotten about God. And they always holler about karma this and karma that. Damn karma. I call it payback. I call it just what the Most High says. Huh? God says that I shall repay, and He is. They got a payday coming in. I'm not talking about the candy bar either. I'm talking about a real payday. They're going to pay for everything that they did to me and my ancestors. I guarantee you that. But anyway, we see here that the king here is going to throw a Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the fiery furnace. All right. Now let's look here at this a little closer. Let's look at verses 16, 17, and 18. It says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, check these words out. If it be so. Now, they understood a process that God had done with their ancestors in the past, that they could make this statement. See, because they are saying here that he might, then again, he might not. We don't know exactly which way he's going to go, but we do know that he's able. Huh? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? See, but we here that has been westernized, we say, oh, God is going to do this and God is going to do that for us and God is going to... No. God is only going to do what he promised. Like I said, they're going to pay for what they did to us. He promised us. It is written that he's going to pay them back. Huh? I'm not making this up. I'm not making a suggestion like they are saying. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us. Huh? Not that he will, but he's able. They don't know which way he's going to go. For the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand. Now, he can deliver them several ways. Huh? But the initial contact was, we know he's able. See that? Now, they look further back at others and saw that he had delivered. And then they say, well, he will deliver us. But it doesn't really have to mean that right now out the fiery furnace, but he's going to deliver us when he brings us back. But now we're dealing with the fiery furnace, if you see what I'm saying here. See, we can look at this several ways. But the whole point of it is, we don't really know exactly what he's going to do. But these are some of the things that he has done and some of the things that he will do. If you see what I'm saying. But whenever he tells you that he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Now, let's move a little further here. Let's jump on down. Let's look at verse 20. Let's look at 20. He said, and he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and then put them into the fire furnace. And then he goes and bind them up with all their clothes on and whatnot. And then they heat it up real hot. And let's jump down to verse 24 here. He says, and then Nebuchadnezzar was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselor, did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? And they answered and said unto him, true, O king. Verse 25, he answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. Now look at this. Believe me, they're not talking about Jesus. Now, if you look at the whole contents of what I just read, you could see that this Son of God, he didn't look exactly like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Because if he did, you can tell him from the rest of them. But it says that the form that he was in, he looked like the Son of God. Huh? Y'all see that? See, so apparently they had seen these beings. We call them ETs nowadays. When they did extraordinary things that blew the mind of the natural person, because the natural person knew that these things were impossible for an individual to do. So when they saw these things doing these great, moves or whatever, flying and stuff like that, or making objects move and stuff like that, they knew that it had to be a God. Okay? So we see here that God showed up here in this form here and delivered them out of the fiery furnace. But the initial thing was, well, if he don't, we will not serve your God. And then it goes on down and say that he will. See that? Now let's go a little further, my sister and brother. Let's go to Daniel 3. Well, we're in that 3. Let's look at Isaiah 45. Let's look at that. Isaiah 45. And we're going to see something here. See, because we get all mixed up and thinking that God is not in control, but he's in control at all times. Now watch this right here. Isaiah 45. Let's look at verse 3. It says, "And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and the hidden riches of secret places, that thou mightest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by thy name, am the God of Israel. For Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I gird thee, though thou hast not known me, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none besides me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light, I create darkness, I make peace, I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things." Now my question to anyone that have any questions about this that I just read, how can anybody say that anybody else is doing these things besides the Most High? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for an individual to think that someone else is capable of doing something, and the Most High says, "I do all these things." Now we're going to read one more. Let's go back to the book of Daniel one more time. Let's go to the book of Daniel, 4th chapter. Let's look at verse 30, 36 and 37. It says, "And at the same time," now this is Nebuchadnezzar. He says, "At the same time my reasoning returned unto me, and the glory of my kingdom, my honor and my brightness returned unto me, and my counsel and my Lord sought unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and excel majesty was added unto me. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and exalt and honor the King of heaven, all whose works are true, and his ways judgment, and those that walk in pride he is able to abase." See that? Those that walk in pride he is able to abase. He learned from his mistakes. Now, my sisters and brothers, we wish all of our sisters and brothers a happy Sabbath. Until next time, shalom.